Hi all, thanks for joining our iGyro training session today. Today we're going to be going through notification rules and how to set up notifications for your business. So we'll start first of all, just in the Gyro portal, we'll just go to the home screen and we'll take a quick look at this dashboard here. Now, this is a configurable dashboard per user. So everyone will have different information on their dashboard depending on who they are and how notifications are set up. So for example, you might have a sales consultant, which will have different notifications to an estimator, different to a designer. And each of those are personalized as well. So you might have 100 jobs and you have a sales consultant that's assigned to 50% of those. The notification rules can work out who to notify depending on which job that is. So this dashboard here, as I just mentioned, is configurable per person. So if we have a look at that, it's just going to give you the date which the notification arrived, job number, client name, which you can click through. So as with most links like this in the system, you can right click and just open up in a new tab and it will take you straight to that client job. All right, the next section here is this notification. So it'll let you know this is the reason why you're being notified. It's saying that the next contacted client is due in 1 day. So I'll let you know that you should contact that particular client and mark a task off to get rid of that off your dashboard. Now, as you hover your mouse over the top here, it's also letting you know what you need to achieve to take this message off your dashboard. So really, you can use this dashboard as a way to run your day-to-day tasks that you need to do in your business. So ideally, you'd load this dashboard up in the morning, and the most pressing things will be at the top. And if you work your way through them, you're completing everything necessary for your business. So yes, if you hover your mouse over the top of one of these messages, it'll let you know what you need to do to remove that. In this case here, we're looking at notice of practical completion or not proceeding. So this is a notification that's saying that nothing has happened on this job since slab down 98 days ago. So that might be a management type notification to say, hey, why is this job stalled? And the only way to get that off is to complete another task, obviously, because no tasks have been completed. By completing another task on that job, it will remove that notification. Otherwise, the job needs to be completed or marked as not proceeding to remove that from your dashboard. You'll notice at the top right here, we've got the last updated. So this is the last time this dashboard was refreshed. And that was today, about an hour ago by the looks. So you do need to refresh that. So when you visit this, you could refresh it. You can do it multiple times in the day or once in the morning, whatever you prefer. All right, so that'll take maybe 20 seconds or so to refresh that dashboard for you. So along with your dashboard, the other part to notifications is an email notification. So I'll just show you an example of one of those. So this is an email coming from Gyro letting you know that the next contacted client is due in 1 day. So that was like a notification we saw a little earlier. Alrighty, now to configure this, we're going to go to the admin section and go down to notification rules. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of rules here. So you can make this as complex as you like. So that's pretty typical for a business with a large workflow to configure a lot of notifications like this. Now, the reason why it's set up in an admin screen like this is that you may not just need to notify a particular person about an event occurring. You may like to set up some catch notifications, like say in a management role, you might like to know if nothing's occurred on a job for some time, or if a design round 1 was due at a certain date. If it's overdue by 30 days, as a manager in your business, you'd like to know that's the case and you can follow up and try and find out why. All right, so probably the easiest thing to look at is a contacted client. So I've just filtered this list down. This is showing me all the notifications in the system for contacted client. And these are all based on tasks here. So we've set up a few different rules here. Contacted client is due for the sales consultant, client liaison, and a project manager. I'll show you how they work. So I'm just double clicking Yep. I just double click one of these notifications and that will give up, that will show a little screen that you can configure that particular notification. So this one, as you can see, is set up to go to the sales consultant for the contacted client. So I'll go through the settings from the top here. Got the group share. So if you turn this on, that allows the notifications to notify people outside of your group. So you may have a consultant that has a different iGyro access. If you tick that box, it'll allow the notification to span out of your system and into theirs. Okay, the entire access group. So we have a quick look in here. Each of your user accounts are configured with different roles in the business. So, there's a sales type role or a project manager role, a management role. So in this case, if we selected, say, the management access group, that means every person that has the management access group role in the business would get this contacted client notification when that's due. So we don't really want that. So we'll leave that as blank. In this case, we're looking at the business contact. So this drop down here lists the different business contacts on a job. So I might quickly show you that. Let's pull up one of these jobs. What I mean by the contact here is this tab here on a job. So there's different roles assigned to this particular job. And in this case, we've got Tim Demo is assigned as a sales consultant on this job. But you may have other jobs in the system that are assigned to different sales consultants or different project managers, for example. So this is the best way to configure your notifications, is selecting a business contact type. So you can say, notify the particular sales consultant on a job that a contacted client is due. Right, likewise, you could change that to project manager and it would notify the project manager instead. All right, the user drop down, that means you can select anyone in your database to notify. So if these two options don't really suit what you're trying to achieve and there's just one person in your business that you would like to get a notification, you can just select their name. Okay, you can select multiple options here. So in this case, what I've configured here is notify the sales consultant, but also notify Tim Demo. And an email address is more like a one-off type thing. So you type an email address in, you can add a semicolon to add more in if you'd like as well. And these emails will also be added to the notifications when they fire off. All right, the next section here is the time frame. So this is configurable here 0 days after a due date for contacted client. So it's relatively easy to read that flow there. And what that will do is whenever there's a due date for a contacted client, the notification will show up on your dashboard and you'll get that Gyro email notification to let you know if that's the case. So that'll only occur once it's due. So you can configure this to say, notify me 5 days before something is due. And that's a good way to let you know that something's coming up. So in the case of, say, a design round 1, for example, you might like to know and have that sitting on your dashboard, ticking down time to let you know that you've got something due coming up in a week's time. I'll just leave that as is for the moment. So 0 days after, it means exactly at that point in time when this contacted client is due, that's when you'll get notified that you need to do that task. Now, the last completed task here, you may not always need this. Most of the time it's probably turned off, but it just means you're only going to get notified for the last item. So you might have 5 different contacted client tasks that are due on a particular job. And if you tick that box, it's only going to notify you of the most pressing due date for that contacted client. So instead of getting 5 emails, you'll get 1. On your dashboard, you'll have 1 notification instead of 5. Now, the start notification here, this helps you push out when a notification will begin to fire off in your database. And a good example here again is this contacted client where a job might progress through from an initial sales stage and progress through to design, estimating, and on site. Now, initially, you might have your sales consultants getting all of the contacted clients or all of the due notifications for the contacted client. But if we have a look at this one here, which is geared up for the project manager, we've set this one up to say only start notifying the project manager after site establishment has been approved. All right, so the project manager won't get bothered by any of these contacted clients being due until such time as the job has gone to site by using that site establishment approved task. Okay, the next step here is you stop notifications after. So this is where you can choose how the notification gets taken off your dashboard. And we shoot back to that dashboard for a second. So when we hover our mouse over the top, remember here, it's letting you know what you need to do to take that off your dashboard. Right, so this one's contract signed, notice of practical completion, or not proceeding, or proceed to contract. Any of those tasks will remove that notification. That's where you configure that here. So you do that just by typing in. You can choose any number of these stop notification rules. Now, it is best practice to at least have not proceeding on here. So try and always, when you're creating a rule, put not proceeding so that if a job is marked as not proceeding, that notification goes away. Alrighty, now we've got site address state. This might not be useful for everyone. I guess most people are probably building in a particular state, but if you've got a large business, you might build across Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria. You can set the notifications based on state. All right, so we could notify, all the project managers of something being due only in the Queensland state. And the last one's a bit of an advanced feature as well, where you might want to attach some files to the notification that gets sent out via email. So you've got three options here, and we've gone through previously on attachment filters, so I won't go too far into that, but the way that you would attach these files to an email that'll go out for this notification is to select the folder. So let's say you wanted to send out a copy of the construction plans with this notification. We might go to the drawings folder, and then we'll filter that down to any file with construction in the name that's a PDF file. Okay, so any file in that drawings folder that's a PDF with the word construction in the file name will now get attached to that notification as it gets sent out. And you've just got a couple of other options to include more if you'd like to. So we might do the contracts folder, send out anything. It's got contract in the name of a PDF. Alrighty, so that is how to configure a notification there. Now, you may like to go through and let's see if we can find an example here. All right, so we've got, say, a request sales estimate round one here. All right, so this particular one is set up for the entire management group 7 days after a request sales estimate round one has been completed. And the stop notifications are, say, contract sign, not proceeding, request second round design, sales estimate. So this is kind of a catch-all for management to say, hey, we've gone through, we've requested a sales estimate. Why hasn't it been done 7 days later? All right, if a job progresses, then the management won't even get notified by that at all. And here's a couple more examples here around a particular task, say design round 1 being due and design round 1 being complete. All right, so the design round 1 here, we've got 15 days before design round 1. So in the system, we're going to have a task that's for a designer to complete their design round 1. In this case, we're saying notify the designer 15 days before it's due. So it'll sit on their dashboard, let them know that that design process is coming through. So along with that one, you also need an after design round 1 due rule. So this first one is saying, let us know up until that point that it's due. This next one saying 0 days after it's due, notify the designer. So that notification will stop at the point on the day that this is due. This one will kick in on that same day to take over. And they will only be removed if design round 1 has occurred or the job is marked as not proceeding. So usually you would need 2 rules for each task here, one before and one after. All right, and then the same task, design round 1 being complete, you might like to notify your sales consultant. All right, so they'll let them know that a design has been completed. They know they can jump into the system, look at the design, and talk to the client about that design. So that's a good example of using one task, design round 1, across 3 different notification rules and the reason why you might need that. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we need to go through there for this session. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Tim, there's a question in the chat.
Okay, we do have a chat there. Thank you, Ash. Can we snooze those notifications? Snoozing notifications, I guess really they're always in there. If you set them up for your business, they're there for a reason. So at this point, there's not really a way to just snooze them as such. If you didn't want the notification running, you can just remove everything here. So if you want to leave it in the system, you can either delete it. There's a button here to delete that notification, or you could come in here and just take out all of these options here, which means the notification will still be sitting there, but it won't be notifying anybody. So we might have another question coming through. We'll just wait for that one. There were some little typing bubbles there. That's gone away. So I think that might be all for our questions today. All right. Thank you for joining, everyone. We'll see you again next time.